Book review, You Can't Teach Hungry by John Morgan. What's up? I am Erik J. Olson. So this is the second legal book that I have read in order. So 2 in a row now. The first was The Power of a System by John Fisher, and then this one is You Can't Teach Hungry by John Morgan. Both of these authors are personal injury attorneys who are the managing partners of law firms. John Fisher is in New York and he runs a mastermind. He has several books. He does a lot of things. We interviewed him on our other podcast, the Managing Partners podcast, recently. Incredibly interesting guy, but very much about delegating your work to your staff. So this book, You Can't Teach Hungry by John Morgan. If you're not familiar, by the way, with John Morgan, he started and runs a personal injury law firm that is predominantly in the south of the United States, named Morgan & Morgan. They have a lot of commercials, billboards, very big in a lot of different cities. They are not very predominant here in my market of Norfolk, Virginia Beach, but I do see their ads on Google every once in a while. But certainly in Florida, which is where they were founded, they're big. In Orlando, we have a couple of employees. Our employees there report that they see him all the time. So I wanted to get his book and I wanted to find out, what the founding and managing partner of a big personal injury firm has to say. And, every time that I grab one of these books, these legal books, I kind of think, am I the right audience for this book? This is written by a lawyer to other lawyers, but both of these books have a whole lot of general business takeaways. And as a matter of fact, there are no legal opinions in here whatsoever. These books that I'm reading are about how to run a law firm. And what I've found from interviewing managing partners on the Managing Partners podcast is that a lot of them and a lot of law firms are focused on the practice of law, not necessarily on building the business of law. So this book, You Can't Teach Hungry, it was an eye-opener, to be honest with you, because it is all about business. Let me just read a couple of the highlights here from the foreword. Here's bullet points. The sustainable practice requires discipline, order, and common vision. Now, the only thing that's legal specific there is the word practice. Replace that with business. The sustainable business requires discipline, order, and common vision. You replace practice with business, and that is a statement on how to run your business. Your firm should not be a revolving door. If it is, what are the reasons? Now, let me look at a couple of others that are quite interesting to me. Learn how to run your firm with a timeline and a business plan. What is a business plan approach you can implement tomorrow? Now, this is something that I say a lot. I've said it in my book, which is right behind me if you're watching the video, $1 Million Journey, which is don't come up with a monster business plan that takes you a year or two just to write, and then maybe takes you 5 or never years to actually start. It is much, significantly much better to start. Come up with a very rough plan and just get going, because you're going to get feedback from the marketplace. You're going to get feedback from your employees. You're going to get feedback from your clients, most importantly, about whether you're on the right path or not. You can theorize all day long on a piece of paper with a business plan and come up with all sorts of crazy projections that are based in nothing, or you can just do it. Just start doing it, and then you can tweak along the way. The business plan can come later. Plan definitive periodic meetings and require attendance and accountability. Now, how interesting is that? How many people do this? How many of you actually have required standard meetings? We have a couple here. We probably could use more. Most of ours are on the frequency of weekly. We have a monthly company meeting, and Kevin and I get together every 2 months for a partners meeting, but we probably need some more meetings, to be quite honest with you. Oh, avoid but plan for black swans. If you're not familiar with a black swan, that is an event that is difficult to predict and that you think may never occur. So back in the day, everybody knew for certainty that swans were always white until they discovered a black swan. That's a black swan event. Now, here's actually a very applicable passage that I highlighted from page 84. This directly pertains to what I do as a digital marketer. We do digital marketing for law firms. So what I highlighted here is you should front load your ads on Monday. Now, what he's talking about here is he's talking about TV ads, but for me, this means Google search ads. You should front load your ads on Monday. Monday is a day when people are ready to take action. As the week progresses, the number of potential cases decreases. That right there, that's from years and years and years of experience. I brought this point up to a couple of the personal injury law firm clients that we have. I just said it as a statement. I didn't ask them their opinion. I just said it as a statement. And they said, yeah, that's right. That's right. They know that the phone rings on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the phone slows down in its ringing on Thursday and Friday. So this is what you can get out of a book. Look, if you're watching the video, I have highlighted here a couple of lines here from page 84. This is a little over 100-page book. But, every time you read a book, what you're looking for is that golden nugget. If that's the only thing you get, then it's totally worth it. I got a lot more from this book. Fantastic book. This is a great business book. This is not just a law book. I'm quite impressed. Beautiful cover too. John, if you ever happen to watch this podcast episode on video, I would love to have you as a guest, either on Journey to $100 Million, this podcast, or my other podcast, the Managing Partners Podcast. Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1 Million Journey, How to Launch a 7-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1 million business. It took me 8 years, and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you could apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.